Yeah, I think one of the key themes that we've been seeing in many of the panels over the past couple of days is with Europe still lagging behind in terms of a domestic supply chain for cathode active material, precursor, anode active material especially so as well. But building this in Europe is going to cost significantly more than importing from China, producing in China as well. And therefore, the sort of additional cost that's brought about by this cannot be hidden in and amongst everything. This cost has to be passed on downstream as well. And it's sort of a big question of who foots this bill, but also what happens if we don't pay this 5 years down the line. And I think, something that rang true across both the cathode and precursor session and the anode session as well is that, it's perhaps falling more on the EU to be able to foot this bill. Everyone needs to band together, including the OEMs, the producers themselves as well. But ultimately, the EU needs to float some of that bill as well. In addition to this, it's no good just sort of footing the additional costs. We also need all the possible levers that we can get. And this is sort of competitive energy pricing, faster permitting. This is something that we've been hearing time and time again. But also more targeted financing for that. Although in terms of other measures that might come in, such as trade barriers and tariffs, like we've seen within the US, the resounding kind of atmosphere is that this is a negative impact for the industry and something that we can't necessarily impose, of course, within Europe when we don't actually have the supply to be able to cover that additional loss there in terms of supply. But what sort of certain iterations of tariffs might bring is actually more competitive pricing that's required to incentivize certain projects within Europe. Now, although, it's perhaps less likely in Europe that we'll see this, but nevertheless interesting to hear from the producers themselves to say certain measures must be taken to ensure some of these projects remain.